Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another crafty update. Very long overdue. This should have been filmed last week. I'm so sorry, everybody. So, my name is Alex and I live in Yorkshire in the UK, and this is my channel all about crafting. There's quite a lot of crafts that come in, go out, come back. Primarily there is knitting, crochet and cross stitch on this channel. At the moment the crochet is just taking over everything, so you're just seeing crochet this week. It is all I've done. But I do have a couple of cross stitch fully finished objects to show you. You've previously seen the cross stitches, but they are now framed. I mean, framing cross stitch is a whole separate thing to actually doing it, I think. I have cross stitches that just sit in. I've got a little let me show you. Oh, can't get it out. I have a little bag, and this is where I keep all of my finished cross stitch. And in here, I don't know why I'm showing you this, because you've seen this. I don't think you've seen this one actually. This is the owl that I finished. I don't think you've actually seen that one, to be fair. I did finish this in between episodes. I downloaded that from Lakeside Needlecraft. It's an Ursula Michael Designs. It's a really nice one. This one obviously has a lot of back stitching. Obviously all of the wording is just back stitch, and all of this is back stitch. I did make a mistake. There should have been one more of these little things before the heart. And I didn't realise until I'd done all that, and I was not going back and frogging it. The reason being, this floss is CXC, and I have noticed that CXC does mark the white Ada if you frog it, so I couldn't frog it, and I wasn't going to do anyway. It's not even an excuse. I wasn't frogging it, so I just fudged it and made it work. And if I hadn't have pointed that out, I don't think you'd have been any the wiser. But it's an absolutely gorgeous cross stitch. I loved making this. I had a problem with the Ada, which I've talked about many times. It is an 18 count Ada, but it was really tight, even with my smallest needle. And I can only think that it's very small holes. I did really struggle with it, so I had to keep putting it down. Anyway, that's waiting for a frame. This is a Needlelot Designs. This is also, well, I don't know whether I'm going to frame this or pop it on a bag, or I've got a couple of ideas on this one, which is why I've done nothing to it. But isn't it beautiful? That's the Art Nouveau Fox by Needlelot Designs. It's an absolute gorgeous one. And she does a couple of the Art Nouveau type cross stitches, which are beautiful. I'll link all these in the description box below. And then this one is by Favourite Gnome on Etsy, which is also, she's got another name, a website, and I can't remember it off the top of my head. But I went through, when I first started cross stitching, I went through a gnome stage and made so many of these gnomes. So this is also waiting for a frame. In fact, full disclosure, this has been framed and then it was bumped out of the frame for something else. Danny's black pearl that I made him. I bumped that one out of its frame for Danny to have the black pearl framed, because that was the perfect frame. And I had bought that frame in a charity shop, and I knew I wouldn't find another one like it. Anyway, so staying on the cross stitch theme, I have a couple of finished objects. So I'm going to pause the camera here, flip it around, because they're hanging on the wall, which you can't actually see right now, but I'm going to show you. So we have the gnome there. Oh, sorry about this, my light's in the way. It says, I wouldn't change you for the world, but I would change the world for you. And it's the autism gnome. And then the bee that Finn got me is finally framed. If I can try and... There you go. That's a little bit better, isn't it? Don't they look gorgeous? So this wall now is filled with cross stitch. So don't they look lovely? The autism gnome, that pattern didn't come with any wording whatsoever. And it's a saying that I've always really loved. And I wanted it on the cross stitch. And if you go to Etsy, there are many, many sellers that sell just letter packs. And I found a really, really good one. And it was all different like fonts and different styles. And I settled on that font. So I sort of just put the two together. It was really easy to do. And yeah, I'm really pleased with it. And I am so pleased it is finally framed. If you can hear any licking in the background, the dog is just licking the air at this point. When I paused it, I said, will you stop licking? Because she was licking a paw. And now she's licking the air. She's just going, and she won't stop. So, as you know, after that, well, not even after that, I'd kind of gone down the whole Amigurumi rabbit hole. So I ended up getting the Amigurumi Favourites book and absolutely fell in love with it. And last time you saw, I was planning on starting the hippo, which has got a bathing suit on. I have since got some more Amigurumi books, which I'll talk about in a second. But here is the hippo. Now, his bathing suit was supposed to be an actual bathing suit, but I had a little bit of an issue, not with the pattern. When it comes to crocheting clothes on a crocheted toy, you really need to be trying it on as you go, because tension differences and one thing and another, it very easily can end up too big or too small. The problem that I had was this yarn was a lovely gift from my friend, and I decided to use that. I had an entire ball and I thought, oh, that's more than enough yarn for the hippo. No, it wasn't. I got to here and ran out of yarn. And it was, I think it was a little yarn she'd given me. So I rang her and I said, oh, you don't have any more of that yarn, dear? And she said, Alex, I think I do. And bless her, she went through her stash and found her last ball of the yarn and sent it to me. In amongst this, while waiting, you know, Royal Mail takes its time, I decided, as I couldn't do any more of the hippo, I would just start the bathing suit, completely not thinking about the fact that I needed to try this on as I was crocheting it. So I'd done the entire bathing suit by the time I got the yarn. And then when I finished the body, I realised the bathing suit was quite a bit too big. Well, I'm saying quite a bit too big. I think I could have reduced it by 6 stitches and it would have been a much better fit. So it ended up a little bit big. So all I've done is I've taken the straps back off and just folded the top of the bathing suit down. So he's just got beach shorts on, and I think he looks just as cute in his shorts. So I'm not bothered that his bathing suit was too big. I wouldn't have had that trouble ordinarily, like I say, because I would have been trying it on as I went and seeing that it was getting a little bit big. And the reason it was big is nothing to do with the pattern. I've maybe just not stuffed it as much as the designer stuffed it, so his body wasn't as wide. That's all it will have been. But yeah, I think he looks adorable. I absolutely love him. He was the reason I bought the Amigurumi Favourites book, and you can do like a little life ring with him with a little frog on the front, but I didn't want to do that. I'm perfectly happy with just the hippo. And with the toys, I don't like too many accessories because then you've got to keep all the accessories together. So, and I'm always frightened of losing them, so I just tend to make the toy. But yeah, it was really easy. It was lovely. So, and he's quite big. He is quite big. So yeah, that's the first one that I did. Let me just pop him down. Hang on. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to come so close to the camera. So then I think it wasn't in the same book. It was in one of the other ones. There was a little bunny and I wanted to do that too. And it wasn't blue in the book. It was a little brown bunny, proper bunny colours. But I wanted a little blue bunny for when you're feeling blue. So I made this one. This one's not one of my favourites. I'm not happy with his face. It's a bit skew with. But I still like him. He's still very, very cute. But yeah, he's not one where I've got it all just how I like it. He does have a little pom-pom tail. Look at that. Isn't it cute? But yeah, absolutely gorgeous. So I also did the bunny. But it didn't stop there. Because after the bunny, I wanted to do another one. And it was Father's Day at the weekend, so I hope all of you wonderful fathers out there had a lovely day. And I decided to make Danny amigurumi as well. So I spent all day Saturday making this, and I did get it finished on Saturday, so I was really impressed. It didn't take long, but you'll see it's not very big. And that is this one. Isn't he just the most gorgeous little bear? I can't remember. I'll show you all the books in a second, but I can't remember which book he was out of. But yeah, isn't he just gorgeous? So I made him as well. So I've been on a real amigurumi kick, and it's all I'm wanting to do at the moment, just make toys. I have started another, which is in the Zoomigurumi 6, and it is this guy, this hedgehog. Now I don't have the fur yarn that it calls for, but I do have some fluffy yarn. So the Wheel of Fun this week had spun work with a colour that you've not used before. And I was going to do orange, but then I thought to myself, actually, I've not crocheted with this yarn, so I'm going to crochet with this yarn. So I cast on the hedgehog. And isn't he just gorgeous? So let me show you the picture again. This is the picture. Now, what I liked about it is, for the head, I've got some thread hanging off there. For the head, it gives you the option to crochet up to the round where you need the fur, and then you can either continue in with the fur yarn for the head, or you can continue in the cotton yarn and then attach the fur after. Now, I've never done this before, and I actually said to my friend, this is not going to work, because when I'm adding facial features, I don't know if I'm going to be able to explain this without showing. I pull yarn into the back of a head and then pull it out where I want, say, the eyebrows, the nose or whatever. Do the facial features, then pull the yarn back out of the same hole that it went into. Tie a knot, stick your crochet hook into that hole and pull the knot into the head. That's how I do it. But always, always you'll get stuffing coming through, so you've got to spend time pushing the stuffing back. So I'd said to my friend, this isn't going to work because the stuffing's going to come through as I'm trying to crochet. But it didn't. It actually worked really, really well. So the body is the same. I'm on with the body now. Yeah, it's the same colour as the hippo. This is the leftover yarn, and I'm not going to run out. I've got all that. So you do exactly the same thing with the body. So I will attach the body, and then I'll go and put the fur on the back. So I think it goes like that. I think that's how it goes. So yeah, it actually worked out really, really well and wasn't near as difficult as I thought it'd be. I thought it'd be really awful to do, but it wasn't. He needs some eyebrows putting on. I've forgotten to do that. So that's the one that I'm working on now. But I will show you the books that I've got. One sec. As you can see, since last episode, I've been collecting. This was the first one that I got, which is the Amigurumi favourite. And I'll show you what the hippo is intended to look like when I find it. There you go. But you can also, I don't think I'm going to, oh yeah, I can show you that. It comes with the life ring as well, which is really cute. And there are so many gorgeous patterns. The patterns in this book tend to be on the larger side, whereas the rest of the books, the patterns tend to be smaller. So if I'm wanting a smaller pattern, I'm heading over to these ones. And I am so enjoying it. I used to do so much amigurumi and I haven't really touched it for years, and I've really got back into it. And I'm just having an absolute blast. So I have 1 through 6. There are 12 and I plan on getting them all. But yeah, there's some really, really lovely patterns. I'm just going to pop these back. So that is just what I've been up to. Just making toys. And I've been having the best time ever. There's a frog in one of them. I really want the frog. I love frogs and I really, really want it. But it's a big one and it's all in one colour. And I'm like, obviously it's green. I may cast that on next. I'm not 100% sure. And other than that, I'm starting a blanket for Stuart, which I will show you. I'm going to have to be very careful because I never do a centre pull on yarn ever. But this yarn drives me nuts because it's in cake form and it's 150 gram balls and it drives me nuts rolling around the floor. So I started with a centre pull, but now it's got to this point, I'm really struggling with it. I'm not going to lie. So Stuart doesn't have his own blanket. If you're new here, Stuart is, I was just going to show you him, but he's gone. He's been there all morning. Stuart is a cat. He's our cat, and he doesn't have his own blanket. They've all had their own blankets over the time. Let me just say there are so many blankets for the cats. There are 3 just there, which the cats all use. Plus there's 2 upstairs, 1 in the kitchen, countless ones on Finn's bed. So they have more than enough blankets. This is not needed, but I wanted Stuart to have his own. So I've started him just a basic granny blanket. It is the King Cole yarn. It's King Cole Harvest, which is a double knit. Yeah. And it's lovely. It's sweet. It's just a basic granny square blanket. I'm using a 5mm hook. And I'm just picking it up on an evening because I find that on an evening in that sort of hour before bed, I don't really want to concentrate on amigurumi or concentrate on cross stitch. Sorry, I've got a really itchy nose. So I just pick that up and it works out well. It's like a pair of vanilla socks. Sometimes on an evening before you go to bed, you just need something mindless, and that's what I've been picking that up for. So I've worked on that. I've done a little bit of cross stitch, and I'm going to show you it, but I'm not going to take it out of the frame, so you're going to have to just remember where it was last time. This is the dragon, and I literally have the end of this tail to finish and the rest of the frame. It's very nearly done. It's got about 700 stitches left. That is all. But I just haven't picked it up, and I think the reason I haven't picked it up is by Needlelot Designs, and you know how much I love her patterns. The reason I haven't picked it up is because I haven't got another project to pick up after. I've got my big project, but I'm only working on that as and when. I haven't got another small project after this. So if I finish it, I'm going to get stressed that I don't have another project. So I've kind of delayed finishing it, and I don't want to start another project yet because Iris, who owns Needlelot Designs, has announced that there will be a new mini sal for Kofi subscribers. I am a subscriber on Kofi for Needlelot Designs, and I cannot wait. It's mythical Greece or ancient Greece. It's all the Greek mythical things, and it's just a mini sale for 3 months, and I cannot wait. So I don't want to start another project before that starts. You know, we're in July next, and you know, there used to be a time where I'd start a cross stitch and finish it within a couple of weeks, but now I do so many different crafts. I've introduced Amigurumi back, I've got my crochet mojo back, I'm also gaming, so I can't spend time just on one thing. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze then, and I'm not. So I don't want to start another project and then feel the pressure to get it finished before the sale starts. So I'm just going to drag this on until the sale starts in August. And I think that's a really good idea. And just, you know, mess around doing other things. So that is my cross stitch. And that is all of the crafts that I've been doing. I really did need to do this podcast and catch you up because it's been 3 weeks since the last episode. And the reason has been just time. I like to film on a Tuesday, and I know I could film Wednesday, and I know I could film on a Monday, but Tuesday is my filming day, so I like to do it on a Tuesday, and I haven't had the time. It's just been one thing after the other. I mentioned on the Wheel of Fun, we've been decorating, we've just got all of the bathroom finished, we've got all of the hallway to do over the next couple of weeks, which is why I really wanted to make sure I filmed today in case I can't film next week. The new carpet and lino is being installed on the 9th of July, so we have to get everything done, and we're kind of just waiting at the minute because I can't take the old carpet up now. There's no point. We're weeks away from the installation date. So in that week before, we need to get everything done that we need doing. So I know that we're going to be busy sort of in the run up to the next episode. So I really wanted to make sure I got filmed today. Does that make sense? I think I'm just talking absolute nonsense. But we have been so busy. We're yarn dyeing this week as well, which is for the all the clubs that we have running. Danny wants to introduce another club. I'm not sure yet. I don't think we'll introduce one while we've got Blanket Club and Yarn of the Month running. I'm not sure we'll introduce another club while we've got 2 running. But on the same side of it, we are considering only doing clubs and putting yarn on a pre-order. nothing's set in stone yet. We haven't made any firm decisions, but that would work out better for us, so we're not having excess stock. If everything's only on a pre-order, we're only getting in what we're actually selling. So it would work out much better. We've got so much yarn in stock, and it scares me. It really scares me. So it is something we're considering, is to only have pre-orders, but I don't know yet. I don't know. We haven't made any firm decisions. I just thought I'd float that idea out there and see what responses I got, because I really wanted, like a cartoon type club of just cartoon characters. I don't know, for copyright reasons, if you can even do that. I'd have to look into it. But we shall see. So that's it for all the live stuff. There's no real live stuff gone on. I told you the car finally got fixed. So I'm just driving around with no lights on my dashboard. It's just absolutely fantastic. It's like having a brand new car. And yeah, we've just been pottering around. The garden's finally starting to look like a garden. The very back of it where we let it overgrow, it's really shot up with the amount of rain that we've had. So talk about gone wild. It is crazy. So we are going to have to try and put a little bit of a fence up there. The problem being, because it's such a bog, we'd have to lose a lot more of the garden to get away from the bog to put the fence posts in, because a fence wouldn't stay up where we've cut it off. So I don't know what the workaround is for that yet. We're still throwing out ideas, but the garden's looking a lot better, and Danny's done so well at keeping up with it, because I've mentioned before, it is a horrible garden to cut. It really is. It's bumpy, it's boggy, it's mossy, there's stones everywhere. We've dug so many of them out, but there's still, bits of stone sticking up, and you find it and dig it out. It's just not a nice garden. It's a lovely size, but it's just not a nice garden to actually cut. But he's done so well. He has to do it every week, though, in order to keep on top of it, because we've only got a little mower. But he's done well with it. So it's all coming together. It's just, everything just takes time, doesn't it? So, yeah, I think that has been everything. I feel like there was something I was supposed to mention, and I can't think what it is. Can you think? I feel like there was something I was supposed to talk about, but I actually can't think what it was. So
I know a secret that no one else knows.
Just ignore. Please just pretend you didn't hear that. On that wonderful note, I'm going to get off. Thank you, everybody, for joining me this week. Who knows what I'll have crafted on over the next 2 weeks. My crafting mojo just goes from one extreme to the other at the moment. So who knows what... Oh, what is that? Can you see that? Is that where I've just been scratching? My hair's been tickling it, hasn't it? You see? Who knows what my crafting mojo will have been. Honestly, I feel like I'm just going from one extreme to the other with crafting. I'm like all about cross stitch, all about crochet, or just all about neither of them, and I'm back to knitting. But that's a crafter's life. That's what we do, and that's what's fun about it. So have a wonderful week, everybody, whatever it is you're doing, and I will see you next week. No. I will see you next week for the Wheel of Fun. And I'm going to say in 2 or 3 weeks for the episode. Every time I say 2 weeks, it's 3. So I'm not going to say it. I'll see you in a couple of weeks for the next episode. Bye, everybody.